Ep32 podcast, episode 32. There's an exciting introduction, eh?
Oofed.
Wowza.
Far too animated.
As you can tell, it's not myself. You'll be glad to hear Marc Dixon, Scott McMillan are here this evening. Decided to fucking join me.
Oh, we're busy motherfuckers. It's
Busy gentlemen.
Hard to pin us down these days, son. You know, taking over the world.
One rising table at a time.
One rising table at a time. Exactly.
Right, let's kick off. Beverages, we're on, gentlemen. Well, the pair you're on your fucking phones, pair of pricks. I only had
research, I'll have you know.
Reset, alright, okay. I only had a chance to pick up Foster's in a rush.
Cool.
So
I'll join you. I've got Corona. Mexico's finest.
Dixon, anything exciting other than just normal beer?
I've got an exciting beer. Yeah,
Nothing else refrigerated. I've tried other beers.
Neither have I.
I've got the Gin Ju from the Ep32 box. The West
There was an
Coast
accent you should have tried.
Aye.
Jinju. It's actually Korean, supposedly. Brewed in...
Can you do a Japanese and then do a Korean?
I was going to ask you if it was north or south, but the folk in the north can't drink or export beer, so we know what one it is.
I cannot do a Japanese or a Korean, and I would not. We would get phone calls of.
I genuinely would not ask you to do it. Right.
Imagine Big Man was into beer though, eh?
Probably is, isn't he?
Like Kim.
He probably is.
He probably just keeps all to himself.
Aye.
That's
probably if you asked him or he released it in a press conference, he would say he had the perfect craft beer recipe. Just like he gets 18 holes in one, like he's better. And is a quadruple chess master. Quite good at snakes and ladders and all, apparently.
Drafts king. Checkers king.
Please, I mean, get me knots and crosses. The big man.
Right, following on from my solo craft beer experience review, thank God you two are here. So, craft beer experience part 2 review with actual people that were actually there.
Did you the listeners shot last week?
I know I have. We have.
What's with the we?
I know. I changed it. Sorry, I changed it.
The rest of us were still at the craft beer thing last week.
Screw you. Right, talk us through it then. Talk us through it, because I kind of briefly spoke about it, and obviously I wasn't there. You gentlemen over there getting pissed, pulling pipes yourself.
I don't know if we're allowed to promote that, but yeah. I did spend quite a bit of time behind a few bars, which I very much appreciated from the brewers. I was going to shout them out, but I thought better not. So that was wicked.
What, in case you get in trouble? Oh.
Well, you know,
retrospective action.
Well, we might
get banned next year.
Oh, well, hopefully not. Hopefully we'll have our own stand there next year. That's the goal. We'll do Beer Fridge live from the craft beer.
Beer Fridge promotions.
Exactly. Nah, I don't know about you, Gil, but it was pretty wicked. The variety of beers, the variety of the brewers, etc. Just kind of how it was all set out, the different floors. So everything from your standard English stuff up to your German beers, which were flung up the stairs.
It was quite cool. Each of the different sections had a different kind of vibe to it. So the main floor was focused around about your Scottish stuff, which all was and where the food was and that kind of stuff. And it had kind of bench longer, kind of more communal bench style seating, didn't it? And then down the stairs where we sat was where the English brewers were. And it was more like a single. It was a wee bit disappointing that there wasn't really anybody there for the breweries specifically because they were travelling, but I understand why. And it was fine because it meant they still had a good selection on. But it was more like it was just a bar with various different, like you're kind of much like you would get in the Brewdog or the Hanging Bat, for instance. It was just various travelling kind of breweries, if you like, for elsewhere, and it was like people for the event that manned that bar, wasn't
it? Yeah.
But they still had plenty on offer, and they could tell you a good bit about it. It wasn't like they were bereft of information or that on it, but it wasn't as good as having somebody for the brewery there. But it was good that they sent stuff, and the stuff they sent was pretty good. We had a good kick at that because we were sitting right there. But it was set up like a library, so it had kind of comfy seats and couches, and they had some games and stuff in the corner that there was a few guys messing about with towards the end. Kind of cornhole and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which was pretty good. And then they had auditorium style seating up the top floor where the non-UK brewers were, if you like. That was kind of tiered seating.
Fair enough.
It was pretty cool as well.
It
was quite a good layout.
It was good because you could just wander and you didn't feel. I don't know about you, but the longest I probably stood in a queue was at that when we were down the stairs. But it was just like a busy phase, and you could get in and blether to the guys from the brewery pretty easily, and get a chance to try. I think me and Graham had a chat about it the day after, and I think obviously we had like a sheet that showed all the beers, and you could like tick them as you were going through. And I think between us on the sheet that I had, we hit something like 54 different beers.
How many was in total?
Good question.
There was maybe 12 to 15 different kinds in the basement. There must have been between 8 and 10 up the stairs on the top floor.
Yeah.
And then in the middle must have been 30, 40. Easy, right?
Easy, yeah.
And that wasn't counting, like, there was the... You'll have heard her for last week. You probably played a bit of her segment. But the lassie for... what was the name of the brewery? In the top right-hand corner, Barney's, she was giving us stuff out of a bottle that wasn't even on that day. Remember?
Yeah.
She was letting us taste stuff out of a bottle that wasn't on that day. She said she just brought it where it was the Sriracha stuff, wasn't it?
Sriracha, that was it.
Aye.
It was nice, different. It didn't
really.
really.
That was a part of, I think, the exclusive range, if I remember when I looked it up. And even that, what was that? They had a sour there as well. Did they know you just tried?
Aye, was it no like sherbet something or other?
Aye, the sherbet one. That's the one.
Sherbet. Aye, that was.
It was on though. It was pulling. Like she was pulling that. That was coming out of keg.
That was really nice, but like it was like I think I said it on the recording. It's like a palate cleanser. Was the easiest way to describe it. It was like having sorbet in between meals that you couldn't eat or drink a lot of it, but it was just enough.
Are you sure that wasn't your boys from?
Oh, listen, he's obviously listening.
He's cucumber and coriander beer.
That was your choo-choo one.
That cucumber one, just jumping over, that was delish, by the way.
Is that the one your boy in the Instagram video was drinking?
Absolutely hated it.
He was like, oh my god. That was him.
You're like, oh, go away.
That was really tasty. Like, what was that, Stuart? Before I butcher it, it was Stuart Brewing.
You just went really slow and then sped right up. Your face caught up with your voice. It was like it was like your face was running down the street to catch it. It was brilliant.
Favorite beer of the experience. Obviously, you sampled a fair few, and I know the pair you've got very different tastes in beers. Overall favourite, if you can even remember.
I've got two. My top two were the first beer we tried, which was the one that me and you tried, Gav, at the Hanging Bat, the Mosaic.
Oh, aye.
The Kernel. Mosaic. Was it IPA?
IPA, yeah.
or pale ale. It was brilliant. It was.
Was that for a pump?
Perfect.
Was this pulled this time? Oh no, in fact it was pulled last time, wasn't it?
Pulled. But it was superb. But kind of hot the spot. That, and then there was the other one was I'm trying to remember the other. It was an Imperial Stout. It was 10.5%, and it was Tempest. I'm sure it was Tempest.
I think you said it in one of your wee snippets.
Sure it was.
Dixon, because I remember wee Wack was saying it was definitely a beer for Migil to get his hands on, because it was a stout.
I'm sure it was the Tempest, because he was there. Was he left hand side just after the food? Because that was how I worked my way around. It was either Tempest or what was the
Alchemy?
Alchemy. It was probably Alchemy.
It was Alchemy.
Because it was a big, heavy set guy.
That's the Alchemy guy.
It's Alchemy, yeah, definitely. The Tempest one was
much the size of himself.
The Tempest bad boy was that Mecha Cake one, which was the thumb number, which was 11.6%. It was honestly.
I had a taste of that. It was good.
Sorry, what? 11?
11.6%.
Holy.
Yeah. Honestly, this either put hair on you or took hair off you, whatever.
I watched so much so that when we were in the Guildford Arms, another shout out to a great pub by the way, in the Guildford Arms afterwards, I was drinking 2 gin and tonics at the same time and watching 2 games of rugby in which Ireland were playing in the
Sorry. Were you drinking 2 gins because you're watching 2 games of rugby?
I had 2 gins one at a time, but I was drinking 2 gins and I watched 2 games of rugby. Basically which Ireland were playing in. And if you've been in the Guildford, you know that one telly it was the first model of telly up for black and white. This telly. It's no flat screen. It takes up the full kind of area of the bit above the revolving door, just before you hit the kind of amazing ceiling that they've got. But it's an old telly, but it was a double vision. I had one of the 3D goggles for the Cocoa Pops. So it had the right effect.
It did indeed.
So we've done your favourites. In fact, did you
give
us a favourite? No, you didn't. Sorry, mate.
Well, my favourite was the Brute IPA from the Top Out bar. What we actually found out at that point, which was quite late on in the day, that they actually had a competition, and you probably had that snippet from that they described it, and that kind of spurred us on basically after speaking to them to basically go round and try all the Brute IPAs.
Any excuse.
Pretty much. Now, the pilot IPA actually won.
Yes.
It was tasty. But for me, the top out, the Brute IPA was actually better, which finished second, which Jacob and all the boys were quite happy to tell us during the snippet. So that was, there you go, simple.
Well, the wee man, Wax said that as well. He said that the top out was better than the pilot.
It was really good.
He's a pilot man.
He is pilot. He was tuned to the moon.
He was. We are all pilot.
But
was he proper? Gassed?
No, it was Pilot Brewery's one of his favourites, because there's a place across the road from where he works in Edinburgh that the staff all wear the pilot gear, and he pointed that out to the guys, and they were much impressed that the folk at the bar were actually wearing the stuff they'd give them. They didn't think they were. They'd give it a load of t-shirts to the bar. He was pointing that out to them, that that was how he had got kind of introduced to it, and I bought a hat, so I'm a pilot hat owner, which is, I don't know, decent gear. What are you hanging about for?
Well, what I'm desperate. I can get a t-shirt as well. I'm loaning t-shirts. They can fire me a t-shirt if they want.
Listen, before you even start on anybody who's loaning a t-shirt, I've been waiting for the new design of this fucking podcast t-shirt for Christ knows how long. Ain't your fucking there's elves sewing it. Maybe get to
Here.
Christmas 2020.
It's him. No me.
Aye,
Him?
it's in,
Is he the
it's in the
designer?
works.
Aye.
Holy fuck! I'm not wanting it then.
I can understand. Hey, I've got a nice slimming number for you, man. Honestly,
Be
the
it-
3 bed sheets that it's taken to put it together, I'll make you look slim as
Is
fuck.
that a fucking black bin bag? The white writing.
Beer Fridge Network t-shirts are coming.
It'll be there soon enough. I don't want to overstep the mark, but it will be soon.
So
Just before you move on,
hi.
what I wanted to try and describe, because I didn't know it myself, was the difference between a brute IPA and a regular IPA.
You know
Unless
what?
that's one of your snippets.
It's exactly what I was going to ask you.
A brute IPA as a style is very new, yet it's starting to catch on at breweries throughout the nation and the world. It's a super dry IPA made with an enzyme that converts unfermentable starches to fermentable sugars. It's light in mouthfeel. It is mouthfeel, by the way. I meant to correct you on that. It's not
Is it?
mouthfeel.
Oh.
It's definitely mouthfeel. So it's meant to be. It's kind of how heavy or light or how something, basically whenever you put a mouthfeel in your mouth, how does it feel when it's in there? Does it feel like your normal, like, is it like nothing so very light,
Aye.
like you would drink water, or does it have depth to it, like if you were drinking wine?
Oh,
Dix,
yeah, okay.
you've tried wines before.
See,
Like
you know,
if you were drinking
you knew straight
if you were
away.
drinking Buckfast, whenever you put it in your mouth, it'd be like drinking lead, right?
Aye, that's true.
It feels heavier or like thicker in your mouth. The mouth feel is, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, is like Bailey's has a different mouth feel for vodka and lemonade. That's the how it feels in your mouth is meant to be.
Every day the school day.
Part of the taste. It's meant to be quite effervescent, so fizzy, dry, fruity, not grassy or getting that kind of where you can taste almost the beer ingredients in it when you're drinking an IPA. Sometimes it's no
Yeah.
hops. It tastes like you can taste the kind of basically the grain in it, if you like. If you can taste the fact that it used to be a crop, pretty much.
Aye.
It's like almost like it's obviously taken its name for champagne. Where champagne's sold as brut often, and what that is a dry champagne rather than one that's sweet. It's meant to taste quite crisp, but have the strength, and it's no as bitter. So it's it's dry but no bitter almost. I don't know. It's just it's different to your normal IPA. It doesn't taste as kind of earthy or grassy as your others.
Scott McMahon, that was very educational.
There we go.
Thank you very much for
Learn
that.
something new.
I genuinely learnt something there. So I will not mouth feel. I like it. I've been educated.
So that's one of your tasting notes to note for your next Beer 52 box.
I'll be going through the mouth feel of every beer.
Because I'm assuming, obviously correctly, that's arsed.
What's that?
Your
Definitely.
beer box is arsed.
Oh, gone.
I was going to say. I still have 5 left.
I think it lasted 2 days. I want to say 3, but it was 2. I want to say 3 to not look like an alcoholic, and 2. Okay, it lasted a night. Okay, give a break. If we go through all the brewery, I'll go through all the Scottish brew. I'm assuming you got through pretty much most of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you
I think
managed...
between us all, we had a good kick at them. Like there wasn't any. I don't think there was any that I missed.
Aye.
I missed the cocktail bit, which I was a bit upset about.
So you managed to. You also went to Pilot, and then we heard that snippet as well from Marc from Fallon Brewery.
Fallon?
Aye, name.
Fill in.
How was that? How were they? How was the beers?
You tried day ones more than
Can
me.
you even
maybe I don't
remember
miss
Dixon?
I can't remember.
You sure?
I am. Let me just. Oh yeah, I do actually. That was. I'm just looking at the names of them because because there were so
Platform
many.
9.
Platform 9.
You were
You
on platform 9 and 3/4 by this stage, so
I was doing
no,
the back
platform C.
across the.
Was it no platform C actually? What the
C.
fuck it's called? Aye.
It was that the big raspberry dog chew.
Cool.
Remember that number?
Raspberry dog. That's the one.
Big raspberry. That I'm sorry. That was gut rot. Like, that was
was that
not.
sour, was it?
That was.
That's
To be
not
honest
what
with
you said in the fucking snippet.
Was it?
You're like, I don't know. Oh my god.
Well,
Fucking Captain Flip Flop at his finest, right?
fair play. Well, to be honest with you,
You can tell he thought he was standing in front of the woman that made it.
Well, my rating on Untapped doesn't match that. To be fair, I think that got my lowest rating I've ever given anything on Untapped, which was like a 1 point something. So
You minded about that?
I was up to, mate. The Beer Fridge podcast is up at 60 now. After
Mate, that Saturday when my phone would not shut the fuck up with
I just tagged you in everything.
Untapped. I'm like, yes, I know, I'm not there. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, man, that's how it worked. But I think that's quite funny that I obviously was blowing smoke up that person's arse, but the big raspberry dog chew actually tasted like dogs.
He probably came away with right. I've not watched the snippet, but here's a couple of sound bites that have probably come from it. It's different, quite strong in flavour. Probably a good palate cleanser, but couldn't you drink a lot of it? It's definitely got a real flavour to it. But thanks very much for your time. That's probably how it went.
It sounds exactly like what you've just said.
CD, absolute gut rot. Everybody's guilty of it.
Well, fair play.
Okay.
Oh, come on. You can't be playing that.
As you point them out. Are you playing it?
You can't be playing it. We've already posted it. And to be honest with you, I've done the whole thing of not listening to it back.
6 degrees north, how'd you get on over there?
I like 6 degrees north.
I love 6 degrees north. I think it's up there.
Well, I was in there last night in the one in Aberdeen, and
You're just blowing smoke up there, that's big time.
Was a really,
Anyway,
absolutely delicious. No,
I am. It's a word you used quite a lot in all those snippets. Delish. Delish.
Hey, to be honest with you, at least you got some content. I suppose. I didn't see Weeboz or Migil sending you anything.
True.
That's because I didn't count who my phone was.
Stuart Brewing, did you head over there at all?
And every time I went upstairs, I had to go myself.
Oh, any pals?
Bar once.
Oh.
I had about half a dozen pints at the time I was upstairs. Said I go up and get one and come back with it. No. No. Absolutely not.
So Stuart Brewing, did you head over there at all?
Yeah, they were the boys that had the cucumber goose.
Ouch.
It was actually really tasty. It was, and that wasn't blowing smoke at them. That was actually.
Your guy on your Instagram video disagrees.
Begs to differ.
Aye.
I tasted it and I must back Marc up. I think it was. I thought it was Nah, I'm trying not to use the same word. It was. It was a taste that I'd never expected to taste. It wasn't sweet at all. It was just much like you would have cucumber. Like some people drink cucumber as a garnish with a gin and tonic, and it changes the flavour if you're having lemon or lime. It tasted like that. And I'm not doing it any justice at all. It wouldn't be up your street at all, Gavin, because you're anti-flavour.
Anti-flavour. No flavour, please. Thank you.
Anti-taste.
I think you would have liked. Well, it was one of the ones that, like you say, it was quite a unique flavour. That 2/3 was enough. You definitely couldn't have drank more than a pint. That was definitely.
That's across
all
all
that. You could drink more than a pint. You just couldn't drink more than a pint of that.
all the little snippets you sent over, which were fantastic. The overall view was you could not drink more than a pint of pretty much anything. Anything you try.
A lot of it.
That's why I put the Colonel at the top of the list, because I could have sat, like, see if somebody had said to me 15 minutes after I had tried the stuff for the Colonel, the Mosaic stuff, and said, "Oh, we've had a power cut, all the other beers off," and I'm like, "That's fine, I'll just drink that. No problem, no hassle at all."
You must have a pint of something. We don't do halves anymore.
I could just have sat and drank. I could have sat, like, it was 2/3 I had, or a third I had of that to begin with, and I used my token on it, and my free drink token, and it was a token well spent. Like, see, if you, like, because obviously it's the free drink token, you might want to go out on a limb and get something you maybe wouldn't normally try. I had kind of half forgot that we had tried it the weekend before, but then I tried it again. It was only when I started looking it up, I thought, I've drank that before, and it was, I had no, like, token exchange remorse. I didn't have any of that. So that's perfect. Well spent. You've got a third pint there, and that was well worth it.
So you said that you done Barney's beer. Did you try anything from Brewtown?
Yes, Howlin'. And it might be the only beer. It might be because I only tried the one beer, and some of the other efforts might be a bit better. But I tried this on the recommendation of the guy that was there, and the guy was spot on. He had a lot to say about the beer and stuff. It wasn't obviously recorded because Dixon wasn't there with me. But the guy had a lot. He spoke a lot of sense. He was talking about where they're situated. I think they're situated in Peterhead.
Peterhead.
Which is a good jaunt away, but apparently they've got their brewery and then a cafe or whatever, a cafe bar next to it, where they obviously sell their beer. But it was like a peach pale ale, but it really tasted like the peach,
mango.
Or mango, sorry. It was like, it tasted like peach mango diluting juice. That's what it didn't even taste like mango. Like, it was like, see the stuff that we had tried, the passion fruit stuff and the beer kitchen, how that was really concentrated. It was like the exact opposite. It was like somebody had taken that, like, mango syrup and watered it down to the max. It was very faint. And because it was very faint but was supposed to taste like mango, but they had made it so it wasn't obtrusive, it tasted like nothing. So it was blank with like a whimper of fruit at the end of it. But it was meant to be a fruit beer, so it was meant to be all fruit. So the fruit, for me, if you're drinking a fruit beer, you drink it because that's the taste that you like. It's almost... You're trying to get as close to cider as you can while it's still being beer and have a bit of a fruity flavour to it. If that's your no sour but fruit, and it should be at the front, but it was like way at the end, and it just tasted like nothing before that. And it was a bit disappointing considering how much the guy had talked it up that it was his favourite, and this was the one that they were kind of banking on, kind of thing. It would have been my choice.
It had quite a cool name though, because it was Mango Unchained, obviously playing on the whole Django thing. I thought it was quite good, but that was probably the best part about it.
I've got their bottle on my leg.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
Was that a freebie by any chance?
Absolutely. They were lying in a jar at the bar. No, they were lying in jars at the bar. They had loads of them. I figured after I'd listened to 15 minutes of Slavers Bay, I could take one.
You've paid your due.
I listened to enough. Considering I wasn't even recording it or trying to promote anything, I was just listening to the boy spiel, thinking that I could maybe regurgitate it later. Can't mind anything he said, and the beer wasn't great. That's it. And it's not against the guy, because he obviously thought it was nice, and everybody's taste buds are different. Maybe it tasted stronger to him. And in his defence, I had at least 3 10% plus beers by this point.
I was about to ask you, how deep were you in?
Oh,
at that point?
I was midway, but I went kind of after having the Mosaic and the 2/3 of the Tiny Rebel to let everybody else experience it. To give Kenny and Graham a taste of the kind of. I'm the only person that was there in the group that drinks that can stomach darker beer. So I had a few dark beers to try and give us a different angle on what we were tasting rather than just tasting kind of pale ales and IPAs, because I knew that Mark and Scott and Graham maybe no Kenny as much. He was kind of covered in the cider angle. He was all apples. And,
talking about Kenny D.
Apples
Obviously,
and peaches,
that
was it.
absolutely tremendous Instagram post of his reaction to whatever the hell he was drinking. How did the big Kenny D find it?
Are you going to tell the backstory to that?
Oh, please do.
I'll let you tell the backstory too.
So the backstory to that was that is, and you have to. It's probably worth a round of applause, really. That's some excellent editing by Marc Dixon. So that reaction actually happened before he had tasted anything. He hadn't even looked at it yet, and he made that. He had it in his hand, but hadn't tasted it yet. He just kind of clocked it and thought this will be the and did the reaction that you've all seen, and then he had a drink at it and thought,
Sorry, actually.
Aye, there was a near reaction. So then there was a supercut made of we put what we thought his reaction was going to be before and as his actual reaction. So it wasn't nearly as offended. His taste buds weren't nearly as offended by what he tried. They were offended by other stuff that he tried. Mainly the Tiny Rebel Stay Puffed stuff was not. He had a smell of the other two stouts that I had. An actual smell, not, and passed him along and decided he was going full Cornwall. He was full Wurzel Gummidge and just went cider after that.
We tried so hard with them in terms of every brewery were like, right, come on, let's try it. And to be honest, the guys that were behind the bar were awesome, because we just basically said, he doesn't like anything, convince him, and they'd be like, oh, try this, try that. And my dad was obviously nowhere near as polite as I was. He was just like, nah.
Were they giving them wee tasters and that?
I just had their glass over and they just felt like you can get a chance to try as much.
You put a wee bit in it, and they were. It's kind of like me. I didn't drink whiskey by any stretch of the imagination. So when I go, I've got a membership with the Whiskey Society, and when I go in there, they say, "What kind of whiskey do you drink?" I say, "I don't. I drink gin." And then they have to try and pick me a whiskey for there. It was kind of like that. It was like, what do you drink? Tennant Special. And then they just kind of made a cross in front of them and went, and then said, okay, we'll try and convert you. And they did well.
One of the breweries, obviously heard him say Tennants, but didn't hear him say Special, so they gave him this kind of like.
It was like a Pilsner, wasn't it?
It was like a proper, like a dull lager or something, she called it. And, you like this? And honestly, he had half a mouthful of it. Or whatever.
Sure, was it no Camden? It was a Camden something or other. I thought.
It'll be
maybe no. It rings a bell.
If it's Camden's, it'll be their normal one. I can't remember what it's called.
It's
the one I probably
liked. It wasn't Hell's. It wasn't.
It wasn't
Hell's. It wasn't Hell's or Pale Ale. It was a kind of. I can't remember what it was, but it was supposed to be like a. It was focused at somebody who would drink like West or
that was a good show.
Corona or something like that. It wasn't aimed at somebody that drinks Tennant Special, which is for anybody that's no tried Tennant Special. You're.
Is it maybe the hazy unplugged version of the Hells? Apparently it's called.
I can't remember what it was, who made it, but he didn't like it anyway, put it that way. But it was meant for somebody that drinks export lager, or like a European style lager. Maybe so. Graham would have loved it because it would be close to a Pilsner Urquell or something like that. Your father would never go near Pilsner Urquell.
That's true. He did. To be fair, he did like that. The Timmermans, the peach number.
Was it? Aye.
Timmermans.
Because
found him a beer
as we could get, wasn't it?
Liked.
The fact that you managed to find them a beer that you liked is an achievement. I mean, I genuinely think he's probably like I'm quite.
you're not. You're not even in the same division, mate.
Not even in the same league. He's fuss, full fuss.
This
What he drinks is called tea.
This is the man that when we were away, thought he was getting a cup of tea, and the guy had switched them and gave him my mum's coffee, right? And he just took a drink of it. So instead of you think, oh, it's and oh yuck, can you swallow it down? And you think, nah, this is a chap that took a drink of the coffee, held it in his mouth, and just went and just sprayed it, spat it out, and pretty much went in this little I want to call it like a huff, but and he was like rubbing his tongue. Fair play to my dad. He likes what he likes, and he was a good sport, and he obviously tried a few different things and resulted in a Timmerman's peach beer and plenty cider.
Is it a potential Christmas present?
Nah.
No, tenant special is still
special.
Just stick with it, tenants.
One slab of.
Absolutely brilliant.
That's what we should do if we see him kind of the festive period. Is everybody should have a tenant special with him, since we all had we made him drink all the stuff that we drank. Everybody should have one can, and then we can review.
That's very true.
Tell everybody exactly how terrible it actually is.
The thing is, I know it's terrible, but the thing is, I like it.
You'll know it's flat.
And it is flat. I know it's flat.
So it's tenant special. Mark, you've probably got experience of this, or more so than me. It's tenant special because my dad used to drink this sometimes. Is tenant special a beer that and the can's got a widget in it? No. It used to be stuff that my dad used to drink ages ago. The can used to have a widget in it. It's just a thing the wee thing that rattles.
Aye.
That's an old school
That's
beer drinking thing. That and that cans with a widget in it and stubby bottles. The French stuff you couldn't pronounce. It's like the barbecue beer of the 80s and 90s.
A barbecue beer.
Wee stubs, 2.5-3%.
Did you manage to try it from St Andrew's Brewing Company at all?
I did.
Yes.
The notorious BIPA.
We had to get stuck into that just because of the name.
Good or shite?
Very lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I quite like St Andrew's stuff.
Yeah, that was decent.
I don't know.
What was the other? They had that. The wee blondie was quite nice.
What was her name?
Too
easy. Come on.
It was pretty easy. They had a few good ones because that was decent. And that Yippee, is it Yippee IPA? That was right too.
Yippee!
Yep. So yeah, but the Notorious was a black IPA, so it was a wee bit dark for my liking, but it actually tasted nice. Like when she poured it, I was kind of like, here we go. But nah, it was good. It was good. That's what I'm saying. I think everyone had a decent beer, at least one that we thought.
I mean, if we quickly go through some of the rest of the world ones that were there. I said rest of the world, it's basically everywhere not from Scotland. Boundary were there. Did we try it from Belfast?
I think I did.
Boundary, let me see.
Maybe was there anything on? Maybe one. I think I maybe tried it.
I'm just trying to load it up.
Can't remember much about it though. I'd be lying if I was to try and describe how it tasted.
Boundary, they had a blind artist, the Goat, Push and Pull, Citra, Simcoe, and a Zabato.
I think I tried Citra.
Yeah, I don't.
Tried like a single mouthful, but
How about Tiny Rebel? Did you try anything from they boys?
Stay Puffed.
Stay Puft.
And your dad had the sour.
Yeah.
Your
What was
dad
that one?
had the sour.
Mm-hmm.
The framboise.
Aye, I was trying to get him to try something that had fruit in it that was different.
Yeah, it was.
To try and get the kind of fruitiness of the cider, but
Aye. True. Aye. I can see him here coming
because
through.
he said he drank Aspall, which is a kind of more crisp, filtered, fancy cider, if you like. It's the bottle with the big long neck.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a mainstay in your neck of the woods, won't it?
Yep.
But I tried to find something that was a bit kind of more fruity, but no sugar, just to try and branch him out a bit. And he didn't. It wasn't like he wouldn't have ordered it and he wouldn't have got it again, kind of thing. But it was
He did finish that one.
He finished it.
And
I think made a point about
oh.
he was an alien. He just doesn't like different kinds of beer, which is fine, by the way. Drink what you want.
It is one of those things. Like, I'm myself, before we obviously the Beer Fridge podcast was the thing. I was always Tennant's, Foster's, Pishwater, normal like San Miguel, Coronas, just normal. Nothing that tastes of really in it. Like,
aye, but you were born in 1988
with a 0.5 alcohol level, yeah.
Aye, so you should ken better. Kennedy was born at a time where Tennant Special was all there was, and he was actually telling us about that. Was that the reason he used to drink lager?
He used to drink lager. Yeah.
He used to drink lager all the time, and he was definitely a lager guy. And it was him and his two mates that used to work beside when they used to go into the pub. They used to be able to get 3 pints and 3 packets of crisps for, was it £1 or something like that?
Yeah.
And when it got to a point where they put prices up on lager and they couldn't get the same round for £1, but they could if they drank pale ale. So they started drinking pale ale, and that's where it came from.
How fucking old is your dad? Is he like fucking...
I knew you were going to say
Listen,
that.
I was surprised when he said pound. I thought he was going to come out with fucking shillings.
Sure. I know.
Fucking guilders or something like that. But, nah. It was quite an interesting story that you kind of... obviously, when you're young and impressionable, you kind of... Well, you drink what you can afford to drink, right? Which is probably why we drank what we drank. I mean, up until a certain point, I didn't drink anything other than the same stuff, like you're saying, Tennants or Coors or whatever. It would just be whatever was on in Scotland. Now, we don't get it, I know, down south still, but whatever was on the 3 for $20 deal was... It was volume rather than quality. Now we go by volume, as in volume alcohol per your 3 time alcohol. It's how much alcohol can you take in as little volume, whereas before it was how much, like as much volume of cans as you could get for as little money as possible. Now we take alcohol as we can in as few volumes, so we don't need to go to the toilet as much.
No, exactly. It's hot. It's hot in that seal.
Aye.
Hot in that seal. Magic Rock Brewing were there. Did any of you try it from they boys?
That was the high wire, the grapefruit. That was like, I think that was the first pint I had. That was tasty. It was tasty. It was just one of the ones that, you know, when you see stuff like that, peach, grapefruit, cucumber. There was a blood orange one, which was the alchemy as well. You've just got to try them because, like you say, they're a little bit out there. I was going to say different, but a little bit out there. And you know, that one I definitely could have drank a couple of pints of. Put it that way. It was that good. It was quite, for being grapefruit, it was actually quite refreshing rather than it being overly bitter.
Over the power, aye.
Which I know, because Graham even had that one, and he sort of agreed, and he's not that big of a kind of fruity beer fan.
I think fruity beers, like, for our dad's generation, like your dad and Graham and my dad and everyone like that. It's if a fruit beer's just like what? It's more this generation now that are getting into all the fruit beers and all that crap. That's where all this craft beer shit's come from, and I like it. But I was quite happy with my Tenants the way it was.
Nah.
Oh,
Like you say, like Miguel just said, it's about finding something that's going to give you the kick that you want without. Like we were in our old faithful pub a few weeks back in the Corrie, and we were drinking. It was between Tenants and Heverley that was on tap, and we were looking at it thinking, we need to get a couple of these in before we can move to gin and tonic. Whereas in years past, like we can count on like how many times like the three of us have been in the Corrie and we've easily tanned 10, 12 pints of Tenants where we've been sitting watching Uncle Jeff and the scores coming in on a Saturday. Not a problem.
And it was just undrinkable, wasn't it? And it's nothing to do with the way the pipes are set up or anything like that at all. It's nothing to do with the quality of the pint. And I know that a seasoned Tenants drinker would tell me that the stuff at Well Park's better than the stuff at in your usual bog standard pub. But I'm not buying it. It just isn't as.
I'll tell you that right now.
It just isn't as. You can. I don't know where
you
it's.
You go in some places and your tenant take your.
I know, but it's within the same ballpark, undrinkable as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't make any. I don't know. It just doesn't make any inroads into my taste buds anymore. It's a great pub.
Best bar in Scotland. Telling you.
The fact that we had such a wide range of gins to fall back on was good for a pub where it is. I mean, you couldn't go within. You would need to go to the next town over to get anywhere near that kind of selection. You didn't get that in Armadale, so anywhere else at all. And it's a brilliant atmosphere. It's got everything going for it. It would do for having even if it was cans, a punk IPA. You have to buy a keg. Just have to charge me corkage. I'll bring in my stuff. It doesn't matter.
That would be
Scott,
funny.
Scott, but if you're listening, I know you won't. If you do listen, get some IPAs in for the boys. Anything for Scott McMillan. You know who he is.
Just even if it's for Christmas time, not even Christmas time, because that's a kind of, just like when I tell you I'm coming, can I bring a crate myself, and you just charge me like 50p corkage or something like that per can. I don't care. I'm just going to bring my own stuff, stick it in the fridge. There's folk in the pub still, and this shows you how accommodating he is. There's folk in the pub still. There's 3 taps with cider on them. One Magners Fruit, one Strongbow, right? Still sells cans of Strongbow. 440ml cans of Strongbow. And there's folk in there drink just cans. They'll not drink it draft, only cans.
Just cans, please.
And he's
so if you can accommodate Strongbow can drinkers, then surely to goodness, we could have a couple of bottles of Caesar or some Punk IPA or some Sierra Nevada or maybe even a wee selection. That would be
knowing
love you forever.
Knowing Scott, he is one of the best landlords ever, literally ever, and we've known him enough all our drinking life. This is before our drinking life. This is before our drinking life. The Corrie Bar in Armadale, top-notch bar, top-notch landlord, overall, top-notcho. Anyway, I don't know where that came from.
Everywhere else in Armadale's like you've walked into a fucking John Wayne film. You open the saloon doors and everybody turns around and looks at you. Whereas at the Corrie, it doesn't bother them.
That's no good other bars in Armadale any fucking because they're all fucking shite. Anyway, your worst beer of the craft beer experience is...
I've gave you mine. Brewtown Mango Pish. Nah, it just wasn't for me.
No, I'm if you're saying it shite,
it wasn't different. It wasn't different. It was just cack.
Your palate is very varied, and if you're saying it's shite, I'm no touching it.
Just saying there's better fruity beers out there. Like there's somebody's done it with an actual mango, and so you take a mango and running it by the outside of the keg. No, it was like, here you go, here's a mango beer, but no mango to make this beer. That's what it was like. 0 mangoes were harvested in the creation of this beer. Yeah, it's a mango beer.
The other one that I tried mango related, and which will probably be in. It's hard to pick one as in which is the worst, but it was that 71 Brewing. It was two to mango. We've not mentioned them yet, but that was pretty much the same. It was not like it wasn't even tasty at all. It was one of the ones that was like, thanks mate, cheers. Like, wash the glass out and move on. But
that's something I went to ask actually. With regards, obviously, you got given a tumbler when you went in. Did you have somewhere where you could get your wee tumbler wee rinse?
They rinsed it out for you. Either some of them rinsed it out. It was either with water that they had set up, or the place down the stairs was rinsing them out of whatever beer you were going to try. So what they were doing was pouring a wee touch of the beer that you were going to try and swirling it around the glass, counting it, and then pouring your third or 2/3, whatever it was you wanted. The only thing that I thought was a bit weird was that they were all selling different measures. It was a bit, which was good. In some respects, I can see why it had its pluses, but it was a bit weird that some were doing thirds and 2/3 only. Some were doing halves and fulls.
Yeah.
Did your tumbler have the measurement marks on it? Like,
no, they were just pouring.
Just fucking making it up.
Might have had a line for a third.
There was one for
a half.
There was one for a half, and there was one for 2/3.
Right.
I don't remember.
But that was a bit kind of weird. The other bit that was a bit kind of weird was that it would have been good if everybody had taken the same tact with regards to payment method, because there was some folk that were taking cash or card, and then the guys up the stairs in the European section were just all card. Like, you couldn't pay cash if you tried. So that was a bit. No, it was, and I'm really, really like clutching at straws to find something wrong. I'm nitpicking, but it was just different. You were up with your kind of money in hand, waiting to pay for it, like you had been for everywhere else when you on the other floors, and then you appeared up the stairs and they were you're just cash only kind of thing. So
must pay with card.
Pretty much.
Aye.
All in all, it was a pretty wicked day.
It was well run. The guys, the brewing guys, sounded as like they were quite well involved. I mean, there was the lassie at the was the one that had the Mexicake. What was that? Tempest. The lassie that was rough as.
Yeah, they've been on it.
She had like 4 bottles of Lucozade lined up in front of her because she was toiling. She was toiling big time. She's like, "This is a beer." To begin with, and then kind of got into it a wee bit more when we said, "You're rough as, aren't you?" And she said, "Aye, absolutely." She's like, "I didn't get finished till like 4 this morning or something," and then we're back on it again at 12. So they were pretty down to earth. They were all up for a chat. There wasn't any of them were kind of. They were quite up for being asked daft questions, which was quite good.
Yeah.
It was decent.
Well, that boy that we spoke to on the snippet for Top Out, he was the head brewer. Was it a Mike or something? His name was, I think. Or
Michael Hoppert.
That's it. Like, he's like the main man. And he was.
Exactly. That's what I said in the last part. You couldn't make it up. Hopper.
Everybody. It was such a good day. And we will be back podcast wise anyway.
So overall, craft beer experience in Edinburgh. Marks out of 10. Scott McMillan. Scott McMillan.
I'll get an 8.
Where could they improve?
They could have. I've kind of said they could have improved on being kind of uniform in their measures. They could have had the Discovery Craft Beer Festival that me and my dad went to. That was before we had even started looking at this stuff. We went to it, and it was at Falkirk Stadium, and they had some pretty good live music and stuff on. I know they had a DJ at the one we were at, Having some maybe live music or something, or it might have been different if you'd went to one of the kind of sessions they had on beer tasting and stuff like that, which we never got the chance to go to. But so, because it wasn't on the one, like the one at Falkirk Stadium was a whole section and everything was on the one floor, it kept everybody together, which was quite good, and it meant that the live entertainment could be all there. Whereas splitting it up had its merits because it let you split up the different brewers and people could hang about in the areas. If they were specifically interested in a certain section, they could stay in that area. But it meant not everybody that was at the thing would be in the same bit.
That was the one thing I did want to actually. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. You reminded me. Entertainment-wise, obviously I read before, it was like a DJ and stuff and whatnot. Was it just literally just a DJ, or do you feel as though it would have been a little bit better if there was maybe a live band, maybe a bit more entertaining?
It would have been good to have a kind of, I don't know, maybe that's not everybody's taste. I know that Mark's taste in music's totally different to mine, but But it was, I mean, it was good because it let folk chat. The music that they did have on wasn't in your ear, so regardless of what type of music it wasn't offensive or not offensive, but it wasn't stopping conversation or anything like that. It was letting folk have a blather, but it was noise in the background, so it wasn't just silence. But I thought it might have been good to have a kind of even just a couple of sections with some live music or something like that.
Food wise, was it alright?
Didn't taste any.
Fantastic.
But they had absolutely massive artisan Scotch eggs, which I would have liked to have tried. Like haggis and black pudding, Scotch eggs and stuff like that, which would have been good. But that's maybe for next time.
Marky boy, how was it for you?
I would have kind of agree. I would give it a 9 out of 10. For me, the music, having a live band wouldn't have bothered me. Wouldn't have ranked it higher and higher. I think it was enough background noise in terms of just knowing that there was something on.
Was it more of a case of just having a DJ there playing music?
They spieled every now and again, didn't they? They kind of, it's like walking around about Asda where they say, "Oh, and we've got a deal on 71 brewing, and they've got some beer in, and the beer's quite good, so you should probably go and try it." It was kind of like that, It was kind of like your supermarket, and they've got this beer on, and this beer on, and this is what it is, and here's a description, and they got some folk up for the brewery bits to give a bit of spiel on what it was they were doing the times I was up.
Was it all it was more like if there was a band, they wouldn't be able to focus on the brews and stuff, and that would maybe been lost.
It was like craft beer festival radio.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was. It was exactly. So we'll have to put our names in. We'll do the podcast for the next time, and we'll just talk.
We'll just
in the background. That was pretty good. I've got to admit, I think all in all, it wasn't overly busy, but it was busy, if that makes sense, in terms of there was a good atmosphere. It was a good session to go to, I thought. It was good atmosphere, but there was plenty of space, so you could still wander without, feeling that you were having to wait.
You didn't spend it going from queue to queue. You were maybe no more than 3-4 deep in each queue, which was good, and that's a testament to just the number of people that were there.
Were the sessions capped with the number of folk?
I don't know. I think they were. It was ticketed to a certain number, which made it manageable. But there was people coming in and out at different times because we were in there pretty early, and it got a lot busier at 2. Would that be right? If we started at 12, right? We went in there about 10 past 12.
I would have said
got there at 10:02.
Half
queue.
They're licking the door, mate.
We were. We thought we'll not be door lickers. We'll go to the Brass Monkey and have a beer first.
So overall, obviously highly rating it. Would you give any advice to anyone who's looking to go next year?
Just go.
If you're trying to get value for money because you're not sure what's there, obviously I think the Thursday and the Friday sessions are probably a bit cheaper ticket wise. Well, obviously that's a weekday, that's why it's cheaper. The other ones that it might be worthwhile trying that because you've only paid, if you go on the weekday one, you've maybe only paid a tenner for your ticket or whatever, and then you're buying beer as you go. So if you find one you like, you can kind of keep going back, and you can have a third or 2/3 of that one if you like, and you pay for it as you're going. And the prices weren't extortionate, were they? I thought they were pretty reasonable. I mean, for craft beer stuff, they were talking maybe 2/3 of a pint was maybe £4 was the dearest I saw, 2/3, and it was always heavy percentages. It wasn't anything.
Aye.
You were paying £4 for a half pint or 2/3 of a pint, and it was severe. It was like that was the 10.5%, 11% stuff.
That grapefruit one that I mentioned first, I got the 2/3 to start, and it was £1.50, and I was like, "Are you sure?" £1.50, and I was like,
so it was all different prices, and it was a good range, and it means you're paying for what you get, as opposed to something where the one at the biscuit factory in Leith, I know that I've mentioned it before, is you pay 40 quid or 50 quid for your ticket, and it's festival pours of whatever you want when you're there, but you've already paid for your drink, so you're basically gone. And I think that might lead people to go a bit over the score, maybe sometimes, whereas everybody there was pretty reasonable. Whereas if you're gone and you're paid 40 quid for your ticket, you feel unhonest to drink 40 quid worth of drink. Does that make sense?
No,
Whereas we had a fair skinful, but you didn't feel any pressure to, I've got to, like, so for somebody that maybe doesn't like as many different, or isn't into the craft beer thing, they definitely wouldn't go and spend 40 quid on a ticket. But somebody like your dad would spend 15 quid on a ticket and go and find what he liked and drink cider all day if he wanted to. That would be fine.
Yeah.
If that was me, and I spent 40, 50 quid on the ticket, and like you're saying that, and my beer was paid for, I wouldn't be varying my drink. I'd find one I like, and I would just stick to that one thing and just drink an absolute arse in it.
Mm-hmm. And I was wicked. I've got to admit, it was well organised. The guys,
they were pretty standoffish as well. It wasn't like they were hanging about, like they weren't walking about checking what you were doing or anything like that. They stood at the front door, and that was it. Yeah. There was people to kind of direct you to where you wanted to go. If you wanted to go to the kind of tasting session, or you wanted to go, like when we walked down the stairs, there was a guy pointing us into where the seats were and where the brewers were, kind of thing. And are you looking to go? Is this what you're looking for, kind of thing? The guys down here are.
You looking for the lobby?
It was like the guys down here are for this brewery, if that's what you're looking for, kind of thing. Which was good. It was well organised.
It sounds top notch. I'm very, very jealous and very disappointed I wasn't able to make it. I'll be definitely put my name down for next year.
There's a free ticket there for you too.
I know there was. There wasn't a free fucking flight there, was there?
No, absolutely not.
I'll definitely put my name down for next year. I know.
The main thing is, though, the big man took you out for a few beers the week before. Nobody else did.
That's true. That is very, very true. Fucking left me dry. But yes. As always, I didn't mention at the start, but always head over to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Beer Fridge Podcast, like and share. We gratefully appreciate it. We truly, truly do. Wherever you listen to your podcast, whether it be Spotify, whether it be iTunes, Google Podcasts, wherever else you get them, thumbs up, 5-star, or whatever way they let you appreciate it. We appreciate it. Aye. I can't drink those 4 cans in a hurry, and that's what went out in my head, so I don't fucking know. And if you want some extra content, head over to patreon.com/Beerfit Podcast. There's currently 2 extra podcasts on there for you guys. If you subscribe, you can get access to them. There's also a way you can get a free t-shirt. One extra note, Beer Fridge Network is on the horizon. If you're a podcaster, vlogger, YouTuber, anything like that, crap.
Just a tube.
Or if you're a tuber, get in contact. Get in contact any of those ways through the social media, through our email address at beerfridgepodcast@gmail.com. Jesus Christ. Get in touch. You can be a part of the Beer Fridge Network, where we're looking to just get an accumulation of all you creators, put it all together, and let people go to one website and gain access to all your content. Unless you other two have anything else to say, to be honest, I'm ready for my bed. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Ditto.
It's been a long day. It's 20 to 11. I've had 4 quick meals there, and I'm just like, see ya.
Very much so. I'll speak to you later.
Indeed.
Until then, till next time. Bye.
Cheerio.
Bye.